In this video, we will look at the most common form of credit card calculation. So this is just an example of what your statement might look like. And notice it has, most credit card statements are going to have your reference numbers for everything on it. So this one does. This one has your reference numbers here. So you can see that. It has the posting date of everything that's happened. So it has every transaction out there. So what it's saying is that on the 5th, you actually went out to dinner to Joe's Diner, but it didn't post until the 8th. And those posting dates are important for average daily balance. And so what happens is you have to find an average of what your balance is daily. It doesn't mean that's what your balance is every day. It's an average of what your balance is. So what the credit card companies do is they take the first day of your billing period, which will be listed. So here, the first day of this billing period is June the 3rd. And you need to know when you start how many days the month has in it. And the month of June has 30 days in it. So you need to keep that number in mind, that we are working with 30 days for this particular billing period. So on the 3rd of June, notice that it will tell you what your previous balance is. That means that's the balance that your credit card was on June 3rd at the end of the last month. So it was $124.37. And you have to figure out for an average, because with an average, you add up all the things that you have. Like if you were doing grades, you would add up all your grades and divide by the number of grades that you have. So you have to add up all your balances and divide by the number of days, which in this case would be a 30. So on June 3rd, your balance from last month was $124.37. And you can see in the transaction list on the 8th, a purchase that you made posted. And remember that this is a credit card, so when you make a purchase, you are adding to your balance. So I'm adding $51.64. So right now, let's just change this color of this pen so that we can see what's happening. I have $124.37 on my credit card, and I just added $51.64. So now I owe $176.01. That is my balance right now. And you need to look at the number of days that these things happen. So on the 3rd, it was $124.37, and I didn't do anything with that credit card until the 8th. That's when my next thing posted. So it stayed the previous balance for 5 days. And then on the 8th, I made a purchase. And then on the 21st, I actually made a payment. And on credit cards, if you make a payment, that means your balance is going down. And notice that's right here. It tells me that. So I did owe $176.01. And I take $75 off of it because that's how much I just paid. And now I owe $101.01. And you can see by my transaction list that the next thing that happened was on the 1st, because this is detailed, on the 1st of the next month, I actually, let's see what happened. I made a purchase at Save More for $78.92. So I'm going to be adding to my credit card balance again. So $101.01 plus $78.92 means that now I owe $179.93. So that's what I owe right now. That's the last transaction of the month. That's in my transaction list there. So the first balance that I had of $124.37 stayed that way for 5 days, from the 3rd to the 8th. Then I made that purchase, and it stayed that way from the 8th to the 21st, which was 13 days. Then I made a payment. On the 21st, I made a payment. And from the 21st to the 1st, rolling on around, was 10 more days. And right now, before I go into my last transaction, I have used 28 days of the month because 28 is 13 plus 10 plus 5. The month of June has 30 days in it. So my last transaction actually has stayed that way for 2 more days because this has got to add up to 30. So this column of your number of days must add up to 30. Now, in order to get an average, what you would do is you would take that first balance of 124.37 and you would add it up 5 times. And then you would add up 176.01 13 times, and 101.01 10 times, and 179.93 2 times. Or you could just multiply those balances by the number of days that it stayed that way. So 124.37 times 5 is 621.85, and 176.01 times 13 is 2288.13. Remember, this is not your balance. This is those balances carried over those number of days. So 101.01 times the 10 days is 10, 10, 10. And then 179.93 times 2 days is 359.86. Now, in order to get an average, remember, you add up all your balances and you divide by 30. So if I add up 621.85 plus 2288.13 plus 1010.10 plus 359.86, I get 4179.94. And I need to take that number and divide it by 30, and I get 139.33. Now, at no time throughout that month, if you look at the balances, at no time did you ever owe 139.33. That's the average that you owed daily. So this is where our finance charge comes from. They take the interest rate and they multiply it by that average. So you would need to know your periodic or your monthly rate. And in this case, my monthly rate is 1.5%. So they're telling me that every month I pay 1.5% interest. So I would take that average daily balance and multiply it by 1.5%, which would be 0.015 because I moved my decimal 2 places. So 139.33 times 0.015 comes out to $2.09. That's my finance charge. So that's how much I'm going to be paying in a finance charge that month. So my new credit card bill that is going to be posted on the 3rd. Remember, this started out on the 3rd of June. So my new credit card bill is going to come in the mail and it's going to be posted on July the 3rd. Is going to be that final balance that I had, which was $179.93. Not the average. The average is just an arbitrary number where we've added them all up and divided by the 30, plus $2.09 in interest. So 179.93 plus $2.09 means that my new credit card for the month of July will be $182.02. So the amount of finance charge, which is your amount of your interest, remember finance charge and interest is the same, varies from month to month depending on what your average daily balance is. If you carry a balance throughout the whole month and it's a large balance, your finance charge is going to be larger because it's a percentage of what you carry throughout the month. So this would be your new bill for the next month. So that's the final bill. That's what you would put for the next month as your previous balance.